The global smartphone industry has been dominated for more than a decade by two giants, Apple and Google. Between iPhones running iOS and the massive ecosystem of Android-powered devices, the digital world has revolved around these two names. They control not just how people communicate, but how they search, buy, create, and even think about technology. But a quiet revolution is beginning, one that neither Apple nor Google seems ready for. At the center of it is a device called the Liberty Phone, a symbol of growing resistance to corporate data control and a push for digital independence. The Liberty Phone doesn't look radically different at first glance. It's a sleek, modern smartphone with a polished screen, metal frame, and a high-quality camera system. But inside, it's built on an entirely different philosophy: privacy and transparency over profit and surveillance. The developers behind the Liberty Phone are not a trillion-dollar corporation, but a team of engineers, cybersecurity experts, and open-source advocates who believe that users should own their data, not surrender it to algorithms and advertisers. While Apple and Google claim to protect user data, both rely heavily on centralized systems that store user information on cloud servers. Every tap, message, and photo gets analyzed to improve services and personalize ads. The Liberty Phone operates differently. It runs on a privacy-first operating system based on open-source frameworks, stripped of unnecessary data trackers. There are no hidden analytics scripts or background data collection processes. Instead of sending information to massive data centers, it stores most of it locally, encrypted on the user's device. What makes this approach powerful is how it returns control to the user. The Liberty OS, the phone OS operating system, allows users to inspect what's happening behind the scenes. Settings are transparent, permissions are clear, and you can actually see which apps try to access your microphone, camera, or location. This level of honesty is almost unheard of in mainstream smartphones. Real-time control panels display encrypted network activity and security stats, helping people understand exactly what their phone is doing. One of the Liberty Phone's biggest draws is its built-in secure communication suite. The device includes encrypted messaging, calling, and email tools that don't rely on big tech servers. Instead, they use peer-to-peer encryption models and independent nodes. The encryption keys are generated on the device itself and never leave it. This means even the Liberty Phone's own company can't access your data. The same principle applies to file storage and backups. Users can create their own encrypted cloud vaults or store data offline entirely. Technically, this approach isn't new, but what makes it different is accessibility. The Liberty Phone turns complicated cybersecurity systems into a simple, user-friendly experience. A person who knows nothing about encryption can now use high-level privacy tools, just like sending a text. It's a bridge between advanced privacy technology and everyday use, something that's been missing in consumer electronics for years. In terms of performance, the Liberty Phone doesn't compromise. It's powered by a custom chip optimized for speed, efficiency, and security. The architecture includes a hardware-level security module that isolates sensitive data, protecting it from malware or unauthorized apps. The chip also runs a real-time security monitor, a process that constantly checks for unusual behavior and can automatically block threats. This makes hacking or data theft far more difficult than on conventional smartphones. One of the most talked about features is its transparency mode. When activated, it visually maps out what each app does, showing in real time which system functions are in use. For example, when an app accesses your GPS, the user sees a live signal indicator. If a background process tries to transmit data, the system instantly flags it. It has a technological way of saying, you deserve to know what's happening on your phone. When compared to Apple or Google's models, the Liberty Phone offers a fundamentally different relationship with the user. Apple focuses on product design and brand experience, Google on data integration and services. The Liberty Phone focuses on freedom, from tracking, from ads, from forced updates, and from hidden software restrictions. Users can install whatever apps they want, customize their interfaces, and even modify system code. It's the kind of openness that big tech companies moved away from years ago. The implications go beyond just one device. If such privacy-first technologies gain traction, they could disrupt the current business model that depends on user data as a commodity. Big tech profits heavily from information, knowing where people go, what they search, what they buy, and how they behave online. A phone that blocks that access threatens to change the entire ecosystem. That is why some analysts say Apple and Google aren't ready for this, because they built their dominance on systems that depend on data flow. What's happening here mirrors a larger global shift toward digital sovereignty. Governments and users are increasingly skeptical about centralized control of information. The Liberty phone taps directly into that sentiment. It represents not just a product, but a movement, a demand for independence in a world increasingly governed by algorithms. In countries where surveillance or censorship is rising, such technology could offer real protection for journalists, activists, and everyday citizens. From a consumer standpoint, the Liberty phone also introduces new economic possibilities. Without the massive marketing and licensing overhead of traditional corporations, it can offer premium technology at lower costs. It also promotes a repairable design, modular components that can be replaced easily rather than forcing users to buy a new device every year. The frame, camera, and battery can be swapped out with minimal tools, extending the phone's lifespan. That alone makes it appealing in an era of rising e-waste and planned obsolescence. Even its app store is different. Instead of tracking user behavior or curating recommendations with algorithms, the Liberty Store ranks apps based on transparency, privacy standards, and community reviews. Developers must disclose what their software does and how it uses data before being listed. The store also supports decentralized app hosting, allowing users to download software from independent verified sources, a step toward breaking the monopoly of major app ecosystems. Visually, the device feels modern yet functional, sharp edges, minimal branding, and a matte finish designed for durability. The software interface follows the same principle: clean, simple, and free from unnecessary clutter. Every animation and layout choice is built for speed and focus, ensuring the system runs smoothly even under heavy use. The phone also integrates seamlessly with encrypted external devices, like privacy-based routers, USB drives, and smart home hubs, extending its ecosystem into broader digital life. For users, the benefits are clear: less tracking, more control, better security, and greater digital autonomy. But the challenge is adoption. Most people are accustomed to convenience, automatic backups, app synchronization, and cloud services that simplify daily life. The Liberty Phone's biggest task is to show that privacy doesn't have to come at the cost of convenience. Early reviews and real-world testing suggest it's succeeding. The user interface is intuitive, the performance is competitive, and the features are actually practical for daily use. Experts say this could mark a turning point. For years, smaller tech companies have tried to challenge Apple and Google, but failed to combine freedom with usability. The Liberty phone is the first to do both effectively. It appeals not just to privacy advocates, but also to everyday consumers tired of being watched. It is part of a growing trend where technology aligns more with human rights than corporate interest, where people regain ownership of their digital footprint. The global response has been mixed. Tech enthusiasts see it as a breakthrough. Critics question whether it can scale or compete with established ecosystems, but the conversation it has started is undeniable. It's forcing people to ask, who really controls my phone, me or the company that made it? That question alone is reshaping how consumers think about technology. This moment highlights a deeper truth. The next revolution in smartphones won't just be about faster chips or better cameras. It will be about trust. Devices that respect privacy and transparency are becoming the new measure of innovation. The Liberty phone stands at the front line of that change, proving that security, independence, and high performance can coexist. For users, the benefit is personal empowerment. You get a phone that works for you, not against you. You can communicate, browse, and create freely without worrying about invisible algorithms collecting everything you do. You can protect your family's data, your business, and your privacy with tools that actually respect your rights. It is not just a device, it is a step toward reclaiming control in a digital world. And that's exactly why Apple and Google may not be ready for this. The Liberty phone challenges the foundation of their ecosystem. It represents a future where users choose transparency over convenience, control over dependence, and privacy over profit. It is a reminder that true innovation isn't about who has the biggest brand, it's about who gives people back their freedom.